I want to introduce our last speaker, Dr. Karen Shi. She is a course director at the Department of Languages, Literature, and Linguistics at York University, where she teaches classes in Chinese language, literature, and culture. Karen earned her PhD in Chinese literature at Fudan University. Her interests include Chinese Canadian and Chinese and North American history, and she has published papers including a brief study on the life of Chinese American Setu Mei Tang and Turning Point, the failure of negotiations for a China-Canada immigration agreement and the enactment of the Chinese Immigration Act of 1923. Please join me in welcoming Karen.
Okay, I really appreciate to join today's conference, and I learned a lot from the different diverse of the topics. And my topic is North American Chinese newspapers coverages about the Mei Lanfang's visit to the United States in 1930. My research attempted to organize coverage in Chinese newspapers on Mei Lanfang's visit to the United States for performances in 1930. Mei Lanfang, of course, we know is the really well known that we call the king of the Beijing opera, right? Back to the 1910s or the 1920s, 30s. And compared with the extensive study on coverage in American newspapers, researchers have not examined much in Chinese newspaper in North America. So the value of Chinese newspaper coverage is, we can see here I listed all of his time schedule from January 31 until the January 18. That's all his visiting schedule. The value of Chinese newspapers coverage is recording the same various celebrations in Chinese community, and even contain more than significant ethnic dignity and pride than the spread exchange Chinese culture itself. It also contained reviews of praise Mei Lanfang's reform and innovation in traditional Chinese opera. And also tracking the Mei Lanfang's further interactions with Chinese community, even with twists and many accurate details and scenes, providing angle that local theatric performance in Chinatown in North America were omitted from both coverages. In 1930, from the January to June, Mei Lanfang visited the United States. The existing Chinese newspapers, including Zhongxi Ribao and the Chinese World, the Young China, the Chinese Nationalist of America, Chinese Nationalist Daily, and the Chinese Times in Vancouver, reported all of these moments. You can see the sum of the, except the first one, Zhongxi Ribao, is a non-partisan, and the rest of the newspapers, they all have the political party background. So actually this one a little bit affect of the report of the Mei Lanfang, but today I don't have time to get much reach to this part. The report of Chinese newspapers on Mei can be divided into general reports on social activities, interviews or reviews of performance and advertisement. According to the coverage, Mei was scheduled to go to Europe. After the performance in New York, not would not be in San Francisco, Chicago, or Honolulu. His eventually visit and performance there just before because the enthusiastic efforts of local Chinese communities. For example, this is the Great China Theater, which is in San Francisco, and middle one is May, and the middle is May, and the right, his left two is from San Francisco. They even sent a representative to Shanghai to contact May before he moved to start his trip, and signed a contract with him in Seattle right away once May step into the land of America. The significance of the significance for May's visit encouraged the ethnic dignity of Chinese Americans who live as a long excluded minority under the Chinese Exclusion Act. Chinese newspapers captured the most welcome ratio in Seattle, Chicago, New York, and San Francisco. Reporters of Chinese newspapers even conduct two exclusive interviews with May. Unlike English newspapers, unlike English newspapers' commentary on compare Chinese and Western culture, reviews of Chinese newspapers had more profound and practical perspectives. They emphasized that the uniqueness of Mei Lanfang's performance. They mentioned his contribution to the modernization of Chinese traditional opera was heralding a new era for the Chinese theater world. They also praised May's promotion to conventional opera, to professionalism. In ancient time, scholars were confined by old traditions and disdained from studying theater. Those who engaged in this profession did so mere as meanings of livelihood and lacked the spirit of modern art. May's effort will change the previous narrow-minded and contemptuous view of China. The grand welcome ceremonies in Chinese communities express the feeling of pride in Chinese culture. However, Chinese newspapers reveals that May didn't succeed with the Chinese community. It primarily reflects Mei Lanfang's attitude towards Chinese community charity activities. The Chinese community in North America has a performance raising of funds as a tradition. When May was in New York, San Francisco, and Honolulu, the Chinese community intend to ask May perform for fundraising for the local Chinese schools and the Donghua Hospital in San Francisco. The agents of May asked for price was $1,000 and made this matter fruitless. It's hard to say what May and his troops planned. May claimed that his visit to spread the Chinese culture to the Western world, not make money. Well, in fact, he didn't perform event in a Chinese theater. A Chinese reader, he wrote a letter to the newspaper and with title, Sincere Advice to May. He indicated May as box office revenue for every performance. It was about $300 US, but a May agent asked for $1,000, which is inconsistent with his statement. The reader believed that charity performance would live up to May's original intention of visiting. Also expressed appreciation of the hospitality of Chinese community. Furthermore, would leave some cherished memory for the Chinese community. May's Confucius was not wisdom. He also quoted May as having earned a donation, hundreds and thousands of Chinese dollars before the trip, but was unwilling to leave some memory of merely like $1,000. He asserted that May did not return the greeting that welcomed him due to the liberty pride, which would damage his reputation. Two Chinese newspapers reviewed the May owned a restaurant, a bill of $80 in San Francisco, and later the restaurant had to hire a lawyer for collecting. So the Chinese newspaper concluded with a meaningful theme. When May visited a city, they will always have a grand welcome ceremony, but no equally warm farewell ceremony. So when the attitude of Chinese community changed, May did not meet any welcome ceremony in Los Angeles, and the same did in Honolulu. No Chinese newspaper report May's departure from Honolulu back to China, and only a few short lines were reprinting when May arrived in Shanghai. The interaction between May and the Chinese community led to another phenomenon that needs attention. It may have been too extreme that Chinese newspaper to assert May only create about the reaction to Western society, not Chinese community. The awkward interaction with the Chinese community reflect May seemed to have minimal interaction with the local Cantonese opera troops too. Traditional Cantonese opera activities has occurred in Chinatown since the Chinese diaspora set foot in America in the 19th century. It was almost only decent entertainment in Chinatown. However, for Main Street society, Chinese theaters in Chinatown were consistently associated with the dirt or noise, not artistic or cultural significance. It may be inferred that May considered himself performing Chinese and Western culture exchange in the opera industry, not to console to the overseas Chinese as an official representative. The attention paid to May visit had yet to become a driving force that leads the mainstream society understanding of the Chinese Cantonese opera in Chinatown. In 1920s, Hollywood sound films were yet to be famous, so Cantonese opera had encountered his golden era in Chinatown with the participation of actors from China. When May Lanfang performed in San Francisco, three other famous Cantonese opera actors from China will perform in Chinatown. So here is an example. We can see here is Li Sumei here. Li Sumei is one of them. And this advertisement is on the same day, which is in San Francisco. May Lanfang has his first primary action performance. May Lanfang and those Cantonese opera troupes performed separately. The Cantonese opera troupes and Chinatown was still ignored and lack recognition. The coverage of Chinese newspapers is indispensable, not just for researching the event May's visit in 1930, the Chinese community, accompanied by Chinese Chinatown Cantonese opera, this is which is a significant part of Chinese art practice overseas, had not yet entered the culture dictionary of the house society. In this article, Mei Lanfang and his interaction with Chinese community in America confirmed that ideology runs in this period of history, which neither American society nor Mei Lanfang himself had the awareness to improve open and inclusive the multicultural atmosphere. Therefore, it's not difficult to understand that unpleasant interaction between Mei and the Chinese community, and why the acclaim that Mei Lanfang's performance received would go in hand with the voiceless Cantonese opera troops in Chinatown. Thank you.